everybody, welcome back to the channel. Right here I have my Toyota Supra and I'm going to be doing another track video. Now, the biggest change to this car, and I'm going to title this in the video, is that I put a new suspension on it. So I actually put on the Bilstein Evo T1 suspension, which is basically Bilstein's hardest core, most race car inspired suspension, and I put that on my Supra. I'm actually going to show you guys something really cool about the suspension. You can actually adjust the compression and the rebound in the car, which is awesome. Something that the new 992 GT3 RS has, and everybody's gone crazy for it. But a lot of you guys don't realize you can actually get that same thing in your own Supra. Right here, this is part of the Supra. You have these little dials you can turn to the left and right. It's level 1 through level 10 on both sides of the car. And basically, as you turn to the right, the car stiffens up. The compression rebound, I assume, gets slower, and as you turn to the left, the compression rebound is quicker, which basically gives you a smoother, softer ride. Now, just in terms of my opinions, after driving this car on the track and on the straight even, I will say that like level 1 to level 2 pretty much feels like the stock suspension in terms of how soft it is, how it absorbs the bumps. Level 7, 8, 9, 10 is a totally different animal. You can definitely feel everything on the road more. There's way less body roll, and everything just feels more race car and stiff. Now, in terms of the other mods I have on the car, so I actually have some Pagid Endurance race pads on the front and the rears. These things literally last forever. I think I've had these on over a year on the car. They are probably the longest lasting pads you're gonna find. They squeal absolutely crazy loud though, so I would not recommend them for the street. Now, in terms of tires, I actually put the Yokohama Advan AD09s on my car. The reason why I did that is because, once again, I want these tires to last. I don't wanna have to buy cup shoes every 3 or 4 track days. They're really expensive, so I wanted something that was endurance focused, kind of like the pads as well. I'm not trying to set lap records. I'm just trying to get better as a driver and just get more experience, not have to spend so much money every time that you track the cars. Now, coming around to the back of the car right here, what we have is the downpipe on the car. Now, for most cars, the downpipes are not that big of a deal. Like in my Lotus Emira, for example, the downpipes don't really add that much horsepower. But on the Supra, the downpipe is basically equivalent, in my opinion, to like a stage 1 tune. It probably adds like 20 horsepower. The car instantly felt faster, especially on the top end after putting the downpipe on. Now, the next mod that I have on the car is this Eventuri intake right here. It looks awesome. It's all carbon fiber. It's supposed to add, I think, 10 to 20 horsepower. So it's just really adding a little bit more power on the top end, just like the downpipe does. But honestly, I only liked it because it sounds good and it looks really cool when you open up the engine bay. And then lastly, the only other mod I have done on this car is I have racing brake fluid, because I will tell you, the stock brake fluid will definitely get too hot and your pedal is going to get really soft if you try to track your Supra with completely stock fluids and pads and all that kind of stuff. So I would highly recommend at least getting a Modal 600 or even the Castrol SRF fluid. But other than that, guys, that is all the mods and setups I have done to my Supra. So now we're gonna go hop in and get in the car, and we're gonna go head out on the track and see how this thing feels.
So I didn't realize this until after I had the suspension, but you're actually supposed to order this code canceling part from Bilstein with the suspension. And basically the issue is that if you install the Bilstein suspension, what's gonna happen is your car is gonna get a chassis error code, and it's not going to let you actually turn off traction control. Now, for most people, that's not a big deal, but on the racetrack, the Supra is very restrictive with traction on, so the car's a little bit slower than usual because I can't turn the traction off. I have to order this part. It's been really hard to find, but just letting you guys know, in some of the higher speed corners, I'm actually upshifting early and trying to take it a little bit slower, because if you don't take those corners slower, the car will actually get a drivetrain error code and it'll put you in limp mode, and then you have to stop the car, turn it on and off, and go through this whole thing. So it's super annoying, but just letting you guys know, if you see me upshifting early in some of the higher speed corners, it's because I cannot turn my traction off yet until I get this Bilstein part. So right here is just the warm-up lap. I'm passing the Cayman right here, and then I'm behind this other race car. I don't know what this race car is. It's the first time I've seen one of these, but basically I'm just kind of going a little bit easy on this lap, taking it easy, waiting until I get the point by to pass, and then once the tires start getting warmed up, we can really start getting on it. So this section right here is actually where I really see a lot of the benefits in the new suspension. It's really changing direction easily, and you're actually really able to rotate the car, kind of similar to my Lotus Emira. Before I had, the normal suspension, the stock suspension, the Supra, it just was not rotating as easily around these corners, and there's a lot more body roll. So this part coming up here is my favorite part of the track, and the main reason why is because you actually catch a little bit of air. It kind of reminds me of like the Nürburgring when you jump up in the air in the car. It's actually a pretty fun little spot on the track. But yeah, that's my favorite part of the track. Coming up here, we got two Mazda Miatas. They eventually only pass on the next straightaway. coming up right here, this was the most confusing pass I've ever had because the Mazda was on the left side pointing me by, and the 911's on the right side pointing me by, and I wasn't really sure if the 911 was trying to point the Mazda by or point me by, so I just went for it. I think I ended up doing the right thing. I don't know. So this is heading in. I believe this is the last lap I do. This is kind of my cooldown lap. I'm not pushing it too much, just kind of keeping the pace. So I'm not getting passed by other cars, but I'm also not really pushing anymore. So this is the start of the cooldown lap. Here I am heading back in, putting my hand up, and yeah, so that concludes the hot laps.
So guys, that wraps it up for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be coming out with a lot more track content. Let me know what you guys think about the suspension on the Supra, and if you think I should do anything else to the car. And without further ado, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.